Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and welcome to our March Metacritic predictions. This is a little fun game, this is a fun video, I'm having fun, and we hope you have fun too. I'm already having fun just thinking about this video. I had fun before we even made this video. I want to have fun after, but I'll probably go to bed. First movie, Sad Affleck stars in the way back basketball drama and alcohol movie. He's about to be mad Affleck. I'm sure he has anger problems in this movie. I think this looks pretty good. This is the director of Warrior and Miracle, so, very much in the line of, serious, inspirational sports dramas. Yeah, he's gonna give you exactly what you think you're going to get. Generally, his movies get pretty good reviews, but he did direct, Jane Got a Gun, which nobody really liked. But I think this one's obviously more comparable to the sports films that he's done. Yeah, obviously. And his last film was The Accountant with Ben Affleck, which got, a 55 on Metacritic. Yeah. So, not bad. I mean, and users love him. People just... Yeah. He just has a way of, riling up the audience. So this movie will probably do very well with just user scores, and it will probably get a very high IMDb score relative to its Metascore. Ben Affleck looks very good in this movie, and he's recently opened up about how personal this movie is and how he struggles with many of the same things as his character does. But I think that critics are gonna find flaws in this story. Or they're just going to find it generic. They're not going to be that sold on a message of you have to overcome your demons in order to win at sports. I'm going to predict a 65 for it. I think that the response is going to be, good overall, because it feels like a movie that I would just like. Why not go into that movie and like it? And, you're going to see Ben Affleck with tears on his face. And that's nice. And he's so big. He's very big in this movie. He's just, a big... guy. He's just a big, cozy guy who's home from Iraq. That's not the story, but that's my description. I have this movie at 59 on Metacritic. Ooh, that's not good. But, no, it's 6 points lower than yours. You doof. It's a, 1 point difference means a lot to me. But you kind of convinced me to go more with what you have. You just convinced me. How are we supposed to play this game when I just agree with you? I'll go with this. I'll go bump it up to a 62. Actually, no. We're gonna stick with the 59. Fuck it. Oh, okay. We're gonna stick with the. You could be right. You could be right. Next, The Banker. This movie stars Anthony Mackie and Samuel L. Jackson and Nicholas Hoult. Anthony Mackie, Samuel L. Jackson defying the odds by purchasing banks and running industries that are normally dominated by white folks. This movie was supposed to come out last year. It got delayed because the son of the real-life person was accused of sexual abuse. It's Apple's first big play at, an original movie. They have some stars in it. It is trying to tackle a really relevant story. It's trying to speak to people. Apple's trying to make their mark. And this was originally supposed to be their first awards season contender, but... they push it back, obviously. And it doesn't seem like it would have gotten any traction in last year's crowded race anyway. It reminds me of Marshall. It also reminds me of Just Mercy. Yeah, well, it's I was going to say, it's Just Mercy, but you, took down the tiers and you brought up, the fun level. They're both kind of visually bland movies. And so I'm going to go with a similar prediction for this movie to Just Mercy. Originally, I looked at it and I said, a number popped in my head, 61. That's the number that popped in my head. But that was too, I think it's too low. I'm going to correct myself. Especially because I went low with The Way Back, and I feel like I'm going to be wrong about that, and that movie's going to get what you said, and it's going to get a 65. Okay. I'm going to go with a 67 for The Banker. It's one of the movies, how could you not like it? It's at least telling a story that's important, right? And there's good actors in it. They're going to like the story, they're going to like the acting. I'm going with a 63, because I feel what is this, and where is it, and will anybody do anything about it? Yeah. And the answer to those questions is, probably not. This movie was kind of a what at the end of last year's award season, where it was really, you're gonna put this at AFI Fest and try to do something with it, and then now it's just coming out on Apple Plus with a big hush over it, even though it has a good cast. I like your number. I like that 63. It feels kind of right for The Banker, but the numbers guy. I have no choice but to stick with my number. You know what? We're gonna go back. The Banker. I'm gonna say 61 because that's the number that popped in my head when I saw it. So I'm gonna try not to deviate too much here. Next we got Spencer Confidential. Don't know what kind of name combination with another word that is and why Spencer's spelled with two S's, but nonetheless, this is yet another teaming of Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg. The two Bergs. You just can't separate them. They're like two peas in a pod. They keep making movies together. Peter Berg generally is a director whose films get like good reviews. Good reviews, but not crazy high metascores compared to the audience's love for these collaborations. But then again, here's the thing. His last film was Mile 22, an action thriller. Got a 38 on Metacritic, folks. That sucks. His acclaimed films are like true stories, you know. This one is kind of this crime comedy where it has a good supporting cast. It's got Eliza Schlesinger, Winston Duke, and Alan Arkin. I watched the trailer. Have you seen the trailer? Yeah. It doesn't look like it's that funny or that interesting. The trailer, it was like a good looking, you know, nicely made, decently shot movie, but I just was uninterested from the trailer. Like, I don't know what it was. It was like, I'm already like kind of exhausted by watching this. And if critics get fatigued during a movie, that is not going to be good for them. So I think it could be like lightly entertaining, but I think it'd be hard to sustain. Yeah, I feel like I would get like very kind of bored and tired watching this. It's coming to Netflix. I also don't see what the chemistry is between Winston Duke and Mark Wahlberg. Like, as far as this is like a buddy movie, it just doesn't really feel like it's that well established. Yeah, but I'm not going to go too low on this one because, again, the cast is likable and the director is likable. I picked 50 for this movie. You know, I'm very close. Oh, you're very 49. Close on this one. I'm 49. Oh. So it's The Price is Right, folks. If it goes higher, he gets the point. If it goes lower, I get the point. And what happens if overall I get a better score? Do I win something? You know, maybe in the next... Do I become the Oscar expert? In the next video, maybe we'll like tally up who got the most. That'd be fun. Yeah, who's more right more times is better than like, oh, let's say the Mark Wahlberg movie gets 100 on Metacritic and we're already like at like 50 points each, you know? That's just kind of weird. Boyhood and Spencer Confidential holding that title. Next movie, very interesting. Like, honestly, a total wild card. The Hunt. This film was delayed with its late year release last year because there were some unfortunate events involving guns that happened in America. And they said, you know, we're not really ready for this movie. Trump made some comments about how Hollywood's dumb and, like, this movie is senseless or whatever. And then they pushed it back to March. This movie seems like it got a lot of unnecessary flack. It came to represent things that it doesn't necessarily want to. And that's not to say that this isn't a political movie, because it's obviously a satire. But what people were arguing about doesn't seem relevant to the actual movie. The idea is that they're hunting rich people. It's the opposite. There's rich elites that are hunting deplorables. Oh. Yeah, it's Craig Zobel. He directed Compliance, which was very good. No, and he did... You know, the other two movies that he's done also have greens on Metacritic. So his track record as a director is very good. It looks like a satire. This cast is interesting. I mean, but because it's already been bombarded with controversy, I wonder if this could have sort of Joker effect where once the controversy's out there, once people sort of have like an opinion in the back of their brains, they can't unsee it. And it might affect their interpretation of the movie when maybe the movie's not really speaking to those issues, or it's not even being deep. Looking online, it actually seems like the outrage is coming more from the right. And it's partly because Trump said something about it being bad, so they just kind of agree with him. It might be the kind of movie where some critics are just like, this is sick. This is a sickening movie. I heard that this was like so controversial in terms of like the time that it came out, and it's just sick. And I can see it getting a few like reds on Metacritic. Just for sure. That's why I wouldn't go too high on this. No. However, I think that because it's like a social satire and it might actually say something kind of interesting, there might be critics who are like, yeah, this is a good movie. The controversy is kind of dumb. I'm going to go further than saying there's going to be some reds and saying that there's going to be some ratings that are 0 or like 10 out of 100. Like a couple. And it's going to go all the way up to people like who think it's, you know, there's going to be like 180. And I don't think it'll go higher than that. And I think for me, that would put it around like a 40. This actually might be a good movie, but it's going to get so heavily weighed down by those like really negative reviews of people who think that the whole project is like just repugnant and it shouldn't exist. You know, I think you hear that complaint about Joker. People might accuse this movie of being controversial for the sake of controversy as well and say like this is sort of irresponsible. Like they're not really considering the implications of the message. I would put the movie at a 57 though. I think that critics will be able to like kind of be fair on it, and I think Craig Zobel has shown that his movies are generally well liked by critics enough. I think I'm gonna be right on this one. I'm feeling like 57 too high. I mean, how many people have to think it's a really good movie, give it a rating in the green for that to happen? The next one is I Still Believe. The director has a horrendous track record. Not only does this star like the lead guy from Riverdale, and it's kind of like this schmaltzy teen singing romance inspirational thing, but it's also Christian. And that's the thing that's going to put it really low. It's not that a movie is inherently bad for being kind of Christian. Terrence Malick's movies are kind of Christian. You just know that there's like that kind of cheese that comes with those type of movies. And like a movie like God's Not Dead does very well at the box office, but there's no other kind of movie that could be so poorly made, just from a technical standpoint, and still make money. But when you target this certain audience, it doesn't matter what the quality of your movie is, they'll just go see it because it's Christian. So, I don't think this movie's going to be good, and I have it very low, but let's hear what you have to say first. Yeah, so I agree with that, and this director, this directing team has done other Christian movies. The True Power of Forgiveness, one of them's called October Baby, and it's something abortion. So you can imagine, that has a 32 on Metacritic. Here's the thing, I don't see this movie being super controversial and like taking on a strong religious stance. Like, seems that it's like a country romance thing. Oh, prayer is good, and forgiveness, and love God, and God. I just, a character that's so confident that God is real, and I still believe. They just know their faith is so strong. Critics are gonna find it absolutely cheesy, and I think I have for this movie. It's not gonna be absolutely atrocious. Oh, I had a 40. I'm gonna say a 40 for this one because it seemed innocent enough to me. I don't think that it being innocent is a reason that it would get out of the red to me. I don't know what a critic would entertain about this movie enough to give it like more than a 4. I think it could get much worse than 4s. The director's track record is pretty terrible, and I went with a 33 on this one. Critics are not going to care one bit, as harmless as it might be. Next, My Spy. This is a comedy starring Dave Bautista. He's like a big, strong agent guy, and he gets the help of a little girl, and they're polar opposites, but they're buddies, and it's a comedy, and you see where this is going. You know what kind of movie this is. For the kind of movie that it is, it seems like it will live up if you're just a regular audience member and you saw the trailer and you're like, hell yeah, that looks fun, you're gonna go and you're gonna like it. This director actually doesn't have the best track record for high metascores, but I will read you the movies that they've done. Get Smart, The Longest Yards, 50 First Date, Anger Management, Nutty Professor 2. Like, these movies may not be acclaimed, but they have a way of like lasting. They're not terrible. If you don't really care to think too much about your movies, you're gonna rent it with your friends or family, and you're gonna like it, and you're all gonna decide that was a good movie. It seems fun and harmless. Yeah, I mean, it's Dave Bautista and a little girl like being friends and gaining a sweet, fun relationship. So it's gonna be a nice movie. I have this at a 48. I don't know if that's high or low. I can't really tell. Like, I have it at a 52. I don't see it like getting above a 60. I don't see it getting below a 30. All right, A Quiet Place Part 2. Ooh, this is definitely juicy. The most anticipated movie out of this bunch. Am I wrong? You're not wrong for me. John Krasinski's back directing. He wrote this one. The same cinematographer. The cinematography looks great. Yeah. In the trailer. And the score is being done by Marco Beltrami again. It's all of what you liked from A Quiet Place 1. You got Emily Blunt and the two kid actors. Noah Jupe is like now a star, so we'll be watching him even more closely. Yeah. And Emily Blunt got a SAG, not even nomination. She won a SAG for this movie last time. For sure. I mean, she's going to be excellent in this movie. People are going to really give her lots of praise. Can you imagine if she got a lead actress SAG award and then nowhere else like the same thing? But no, I mean, I'm sure Emily Blunt's going to be like really excellent in this movie, and I have no reason to think this movie's going to be bad. Like, I think it's actually going to be very good. I really hope that it's very good. The trailer is promising in the way that they're definitely upgrading like the filmmaking. It's almost too obvious in a way that it's like they're doing it through long takes. I want the long takes to be very intentional and seamless. I hope that that's the case. Instead of like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go for more of those. Like, I felt like the long take had the potential to kind of suck the suspense out of the scene, especially when you're dealing with monsters and you can't cut away from them. I'm just slightly weary of it, but I don't really think it'll have a big impact on the film. I think the main challenge is that we know what the monsters look like and they're not being coy about it anymore. I don't think it's going to be quite as good as the first movie for that reason, but I think it's going to do more with maybe like the drama and the characters that will lead people to really like it, and like it'll be, you know, part of this respectable franchise. I think they'll get another movie after this one probably, and I feel like this is going to be really, really good. I think that the issue that it might have, which a lot of sequels have, is the idea that, you know, now we're doing the second one, we need to have more. There needs to be more monsters and more people. And that might not be the best because Quiet Place 1 was so contained. That was what made it so brilliant. Although I do see hints of them going for like, what does this society look like and what are the people in it and like what is the fear do to people in this society. I think that there is hints of that in the trailer. So I actually kind of like that if they are going for that. Shrek and Shrek 2. One's a classic and the other's also good and a good companion piece.
But Shrek had like an ineffable quality that you couldn't duplicate.
I don't think it's good. The quality's going to drop that much from the last one actually. I think.
What's your prediction?
I'm sure it's higher than yours. I think it's going to get a 77 Metacritic.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I think it's going to be a really good movie. People are taking it really seriously, so they're not going to be afraid to go for those high numbers, even though it's a horror movie.
I mean, remember It Chapter 2, though? Where it was like, why wouldn't this be nearly as good? And then it was like, ooh. I have it at a 74.
Yeah, I thought 74. Yeah. That's the first number that popped in my head before I upgraded a little.
I think that it will be very good, but it just doesn't seem like a movie that can be as good as the first. But Krasinski, if you pull this off and you make it better than the first, then, you know, hella kudos to you.
Well, people are going to say that he pulls it off. Best case scenario is like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, you know? I feel like some people will think it's a little better.
When the reactions come out on Twitter, everyone's going to be like, it's fucking better, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, Frozen and Frozen 2. That was like, you know, we don't want that to happen. But next we got Bloodshot, which stars Vin Diesel. And it's based on a comic book. It's about a guy who is like genetically engineered to have like little like mites in his blood that make him like super fucking like tanky, and he can just like rebuild his face after getting shot off.
Yeah, so I know the least about this movie. I don't even know the plot. I looked it up on IMDb. I saw robot cyborg Vin Diesel and I said 30.
Really? Okay, here's
like, listen, absolutely no. I don't even want to hear an argument for how this could possibly be a critically acclaimed movie.
Did you watch the trailer?
No.
The trailer was like, all right, parts of this movie are going to be like really, really dumb and have like stupid CGI shit. But because it's a comic book movie, it's almost like a little bit forgivable, the dumbness sometimes. You can just have fun with it. But the writer's track record is kind of bad. I had this one at a 46. I don't think it's going to, like, totally suck, but I don't think it's going to be good. Because, like, what if it's, like, an Aquaman, where it's like, yeah, this is, like, fucking dumb, but, like, hell yeah.
It's not a bad trailer because they make it seem like it could be going for that fun, but it does. I also get the sense that this is taking itself kind of seriously. I mean, I can't imagine, like, a critic really liking this. Like, this is just not their cup of tea. Vin Diesel's great when he's, like, allowed to, you know, get that charisma going, but I don't know. In this movie, he's playing a cyborg. He's playing a robot, so he's kind of going to be like, I mean, it kind of looks like garbage.
It might be garbage, but I think that it might be fun for people. So I'm going with a 46. You can have your 30.
I will have my 30.
And you can have fun with that. Last and not least, certainly not least, is the Mulan Disney live-action reboot.
How exciting.
We've had so goddamn many Disney live-action reboots. Many of them have been mediocre. Some have been decent. Lately, it's not been a good look. Dumbo, Aladdin, and The Lion King, a triple no. But this director, Nikki Caro, who's doing this one, did Zookeeper's Wife. She did a movie that got Charlize Theron and Frances McDormand nominated. And she did a movie back in the day called Whale Rider that got an 80 on Metacritic. Not bad. Not bad.
I also think the movie looks really notable for the costumes, and I wonder if it can get an Academy Award nomination.
That's what I said about Aladdin.
No, I didn't ever think it was as true about Aladdin. I think this one seems like it might be more locked in for that.
I was impressed by the production design in Dumbo trailer. but no, that did not.
Yeah,
matter.
I agree.
And The Lion King, very impressive technically too.
But if the movie doesn't get good reviews, like, it can't get nominations. This
I
seems
will
to be
say-
how it's working lately.
One thing that I will commend about it is, and that I think a lot of people will commend about it, is that it doesn't use CGI too much. There's actually, like,
Yeah.
not that much CGI here.
Yeah, that's true. Like, they didn't need CGI to create the movie. I mean, even in Aladdin, you needed CGI for several characters. In this one, yeah, I mean, this could go actually in the right direction for Disney, I think. I think it obviously matters that this is an all-Asian cast. I mean, for a blockbuster of this type, to have, like, a completely Asian cast is a really good thing.
I don't love these trailers because while, like, technically they look very good, the lack of attention towards, like, the actual character of Mulan is, like... I saw 2 trailers and I was like, who's Mulan?
Yeah.
And she only gets, like, 2 lines in both the trailers.
Yeah.
Are you a character or are you not? That's my big concern about this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be amazing. That's kind of it. I think it's going to be good. Like, I don't think it's going to make anybody scream about it unless you're, like, a really huge fan. But it's going to be, like, competently made. It looks like there's a lot of attention going into, like, the period detail. But
I think it could have been amazing, like Black Panther, where it's like, whoa, we have a
Yeah.
director who's like really
That's
taking
true.
this to the next level, and it just doesn't.
it
look
looks
like
predictable, though. That's the problem, is Disney remakes are all sort of predictable, run-of-the-mill, conveyor belt movies. And I think that Mulan's going to fall into the weird middle ground where it's a good movie, but it's not part of the conveyor belt, just like Beauty and the Beast, in fact, I think that's where it's going to land.
that. I'm gonna go with a 64 on it.
Yeah, I have a 66, actually, so we're pretty close here.
I had a 66.
I'm sure
but
you
then
did.
I changed it like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, I'm saying 66. Beauty and the Beast had a 65.
It seems like it has more potential than other Disney live actions.
It's one of those movies where, like, if it gets mediocre reviews, like, I'm just not going to see it. I'm not going to think twice about it. But if it gets good reviews, like, I'm happy to go to the theater and
Yeah.
watch it.
Those are our Metacritic predictions for March films. Stay tuned, as this may become a monthly segment. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
The place for your predictions is in the comments below.